Hello, beautiful people. We're back again. We're live again tonight. I am waiting on Letitia, Lady Letitia, but she's just she'll be with us in about 10 minutes. How's everybody in the side chat? How you doing? Hello, Casabel. I'm going to respond to you. Sorry. I thought your email was brilliant, by the way. Very funny. So, Kaza received her competition prize. She can tell you in the chat what it was if you want to know, if she wants to share it. How's everybody today? So, extremely interesting news again. So, more from the CBS interview. Unbelievable, really, the amount of information that comes off the back of one interview. It's crazy. So, I don't know if you guys watched Dan Wooten's interview with Angela Levin. And apparently, Meghan had a meltdown just after the interview. So, what's quite fascinating is, as far as we were aware, she had rehearsed the questions. She knew what questions were going to be asked. She knew the whole procedure. And part of the interview, if you watch yesterday's live, and if you haven't watched it, watch it. And we just analysed the whole interview. And there was a part of the interview that said she was shocked by the unaliving question. And as far as we were aware, she knew all the questions that were going to be asked. But apparently this one was kind of thrown into the mix without her knowing, right? So she's come off stage, or come off from the interview, and she's gone mad at the producers. And going mad at the producers because she didn't want to be asked a question about her personal suicidal thoughts, suicidal ideation. And she said she wasn't expecting it, screamed, shouted, had a complete meltdown, even though the woman not so long ago in her Oprah interview, that was her main topic of conversation. And it just begs the question, really, what is going on with Meghan, and why would that be a problem for that question to be asked? And I'm going to obviously get Lady Letitia involved with this conversation as well once she joins us. Hello everybody in the chat. Hi Lisa B, thanks for joining us tonight. Lady Valhalla, I think that's how you pronounce it. SEJ429, please change that name because it's just so hard for me to say it. But yeah, and I wanted to say thank you as well to the to Paula's sub that gave me the idea for the name Victoria's Voice. I just thought that sounded quite good. I love a little bit of alliteration, always helpful. It rolls off the tongue nicely. Hi Multiseti, thank you for being a member. Hello Michelle. Loving the channel name. Thank you so much. I finally found a name. I know, after months. Hello, Christine. I went and got a laser done today on my face. So I've actually got no makeup on. And it's infrared laser. I'm going to give you guys the name of it. Really good. I've been having it for 4 months now. And it's worked. I'm 36 and it's really started to build up my collagen again in my face. I'm really pleased with that. So yeah, going back to this Meghan's meltdown. So really she tried to control the whole interview, and I did try to get the clip, but I couldn't find the clip of Dan Wooten interviewing Angela Levin. I had it yesterday. But it's disappeared, and the clip really just states that she just went chaotic afterwards, and all the producers were trying to calm her down. But actually, if we're looking at this interview is about suicide, so it's quite a relevant topic to her own experience. And you would have thought that's why she was doing it, because she decided that, you know, she wanted to unalive herself. That was her, allegedly. then this kind of makes sense for her to be involved in an anti-bullying campaign, and to help parents with gone through suicide, with children have gone through suicide. So it's quite surprising that she got so upset about this question. And you could see by Harry's reaction, he just didn't really care. He was just completely checked out at this point. He checked out through the whole interview. And it's such a short interview. And we've got so much information from it, and the state of their marriage, the state of their relationship. There is whispers now, rumours that they're going to get a divorce. And the divorce, upcoming divorce, but will that happen any time before his 40th birthday, when he inherits millions of pounds? I think she may just wait until he turns 40. I think if she was if she definitely just didn't get with him for his marriage and his brain, for his money and his brains. So yeah, I do think she's gonna wait until he's inherited his lump sum. And we're also going to debate tonight as well whether he should even inherit that money, because he's no longer a working royal. And Prince William, he inherits money, but he'll have to well, he doesn't pay tax, but Prince Harry will be paying tax on that inheritance money. So yeah, let me know in the side chat what you think, whether you think this was a set up question or did she know about it? Because there's lots of talk that she already knew this question was going to come around. But if she didn't, why would she go crazy at the producers? Was there another reason for going crazy at the producers? But the word on the street is it was all to do with this unaliving question. And she didn't seem that shocked, to be fair, when she asked the question. I didn't see in her face a flicker of, oh, panic. This question's just come up. I wasn't prepared for it. She seemed to deal with it very well. So I'm not entirely sure whether I know what to believe when it comes to this situation, whether she knew she was going to get asked this question. I would have thought this question has a lot of relevance to the whole situation. And again, she didn't refer to any of these stories that these parents had gone through. So there had to be some reference to suicide within that interview. If they weren't going to talk about the parents' situation, then they're going to draw it back to Meghan, because Meghan's talked about this before. And she was very happy to speak about it in the Oprah interview. She's very candid. This was kind of the thing that she wanted to bring up. So why sorry, you can hear my kids in the background. Why she didn't want to speak about it is a bit of a shock to me. And maybe she's trying to forget that she ever mentions her suicide ideation. Christine says she's faked it. Yeah, a lot of people are saying, yeah, allegedly she just, it was just a draw for attention. It doesn't seem like Harry is playing her game anymore. From the interview yesterday, when she was speaking about it, and I did mention in the live yesterday, he didn't react to it at all. He just completely it was completely rigid. He didn't move. He didn't put his hands on her. He didn't show any sign of affection. He didn't even nod in agreement. He was sort of like a shadow of himself, staring to the abyss. He looked miserable. I mean, his body language is almost like he was trying to say, help me, release me from Meghan. It felt so weird that he was so unattentive, when normally he is really attentive towards her. And it just shows maybe that there is some real problems there within the marriage. So guys, what do you think in the chat? I personally think that they're on the verge of divorce. I do think as well, when it comes to their the divorce, what will happen, there will be issues with the agreement for custody, because it's an international divorce as well. So that's going to get really messy, I believe. That ginger really screwed up. It was the most miserable he's looked since he married her. Yes, yes, he does. He looks completely broken. And I don't think anybody's making up what they saw. I mean, we could all read into it what we want, but anyone with a pair of eyes can see he looks miserable. Maybe his rapid blinking is a sign for us to get him out. Yeah, like SOS, Nicola. Help me. I do. I think he is this, like, that interview is like, I'm going just to get some help so someone will get me out of this marriage. She will make mince meat out of him in a divorce. She will. And, you know, I do think she's waiting for the inheritance. I think that is her end goal, her game plan. I'm even wondering whether she knew that this was going to happen and she timed everything according to the inheritance. I don't think the kids are hers. I think they might be his, but she had a hysterectomy when she was 28, allegedly. The kid debacle. And I know they were talking about the kids in the interview as well. And again, yesterday we discussed 3 and 5 is not really the age that you're influenced by online media. They shouldn't be even on the pads on certain things anyway. As far as I'm concerned, if you're 3 and 5, you're watching cartoons, you're watching Peppa Pig, or you're watching, I don't know, Teletubbies, something like that. If Teletubbies is still on. Duke of Hazzards is done. Heard he wanted a post-nuptial agreement. She said, no way, Jose. Yes, that is interesting. Now, did they have a prenup, guys? Does anybody know? Would be interesting to know if they did. That was fake, the way she spoke about them. Yeah. He just didn't engage at all. He didn't interact. He didn't say a word. And when he did, the whole body language went. I mean, she was literally recoiling inside at his voice. You can see his voice annoys her massively. And what comes out of his mouth annoys her. She's taken complete control over the whole situation. The whole interview, she took control of it, and then she didn't like the question over the unaliving for some reason. Now, I do have a few articles I'm going to read out to you that I've found, some wonderful articles just about this whole situation. There's a few different points of view we've got. And I've also got some more news as well regarding, thank you, Christine. Yes, this is I just get doing this on my own. We've got to get used to doing it, haven't I? I found an article as well. Meghan Markle's sister, Samantha, has attempted to sue the Duchess for destroying her on a global scale. And whether this is true or not, I don't know, but this is from a reliable source, GB News. Meghan Markle's half-sister, who we know and we've seen on the Sean Atwood channel and a few other channels as well, is launching a fresh appeal against the court defamation ruling as a bitter legal feud between the Markle siblings deepens. She's looking to overturn a ruling which rejected her claims that Meghan portrayed her as a lying racist fame seeker and suggested the two didn't even know each other growing up. And now new court documents have come to light which detail the extent of Samantha's scathing allegations against the Duchess of Sussex. In the documents unearthed by The Sun, Samantha claims that Meghan knew what she was doing and how to do it. And they continue, she destroyed Samantha publicly on a global scale. Now, I had a feeling that there was something going on with regards to this. I thought it was odd that there was a bit of quietness and hush around the Markles when it came to certain situations, and I come to realise that there might have been some legal things going on in the background, and I think this is probably true. Obviously, we don't know for sure, but the case was brought forward, and she has made it so Samantha cannot work or even enjoy the most mundane of activities, like going to the grocery store without harassment. So the sister was unable to prove any defamation, and Samantha's legal team are pushing to overturn. So it's still going to go ongoing. I don't know how far that's going to go. I think it's very difficult to sue someone with that amount of money behind them, because they're going to have a great legal team. What do you think, guys, in the chat? Even if Samantha doesn't get a big payout, she deserves something. Yeah, I think they do. I think it's been a difficult time for all of the family, especially the dads, I think more so, because that's his daughter, and he's missing out on what some people say the kids aren't real, but he's missing out on the children growing up. I think Martha says, I think Samantha will end up settling out of court. Possibly, a lot of people do. Lady C's already done a podcast on this today, saying the case is going forward. So I actually, for a while now, I thought there was something going on legally, because things have been quiet from the Markles for a while. And my thoughts were right. So it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. Victoria's Truth. Yeah, but it just doesn't have the alliteration there, Christine. And you know what? Voice is okay. I like to babble on, don't I? Samantha deserves justice. It's sad. Meghan is a cow and very litigious. That's true. Oh, there you are. Look. Hold on. Where is she? That's the stupid stuff, Duchess of Dog Biscuits. I did send you the link already, Lady Letitia. I've done it twice now. I'm going to send it again. All right, 2 seconds. Hold on. Let's get Lady Letitia on here. Oh, did I not? She says I've not sent it. Hold on. You're not in the waiting room. Have I sent her the wrong link? Right, hold on. She's in the wrong waiting room. That's great. Hold on a minute. Invite. Copy. Right, let's get Lazy Letitia on here. Sorry, guys. I can't do 2 things at once. A bit. Oh. Oh. Right. Sorry. So long. Right, Lady Letitia. Might have sent her the wrong link. There we go. Hopefully she comes in a second. Yes, thank you. Just Lady Letitia. She's coming in. Yes, Paula is in a secret location at the moment, which is great. Very exciting what's coming up. But I can't share anything, unfortunately. I've been held to secrecy. Did you get the link, Lady Letitia? I have sent it to you. So, 2 seconds. Wrong link. I've sent it again. Hold on. I'm really sorry, guys. Oh, there she is. There she is. Yay!
Oh.
Did I send you the wrong link?
You actually sent me the actual live.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh, did
that's
I not send you
okay.
that?
My
I thought I
age
sent you it via email. There we go. And that was quite difficult doing two things at once.
It is. It's very difficult.
How are
Trust.
you today?
I'm doing great. How are you, beautiful?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm really good. Really interested in what's going on at the moment with Meghan. Are
Well,
you
I
all
heard
caught
you
up
talking
with
about
what's
Samantha's.
y-
Oh, oh,
well, did you see the CBS interview?
oh, yeah. You know that
Yeah,
was.
I like what your style today. You're looking really
Thank
good.
you.
Beautiful.
Yes, I saw
Loving it. Is
that
that a
from
cat
Google.
suit or is that just a top?
For sure. Yeah, it's just a top.
Oh, I love it.
Thank you.
I love it.
Thanks.
So we were just talking, and I was just reeling off the information that I found online. That with Angela Levin and Dan Wooten, and he was interviewing her about Meghan, and she was stating that Meghan had a breakdown after a certain question that was asked within that interview. You know, the interview regarding the suicide, the families of suicide, children with suicide, and it was regarding her unaliving ideation or suicidal ideation, and she just wanted to kind of refer to that because it's on topic. It's about the whole thing was about suicide. That was the
Right.
campaign. So it makes complete sense if Meghan has had thoughts of suicide before and she's discussed that on Oprah quite openly, that she was fine to talk about it. Why all of a sudden was it an issue? So apparently this question was not part of the script. This was thrown
Really?
in. It was like apparently it was like a thrown in question that they shouldn't have been asked, but that was asked. But in fairness, she shouldn't have even been bothered by that question, even if it wasn't in the
She shouldn't even be in there. She shouldn't even be. They shouldn't even be interviewing her about this, and because I don't think she's helping these people. I think
No, but
maybe
what I'm saying is, why did she have a meltdown with the producers afterwards? Because when she came off stage, off not off stage, but when she came off the interview, she went crazy at the producers, started shouting at them. She was hurling abuse at them, screaming, yelling. And she completely went off the rails over this particular question. And she said she was shocked that this woman had asked her this question. The lady that answered the question, the one that interviewed her, I've forgotten her name now, Judy. And she said, oh, I was taken aback by that, but this is all on topic to what the campaign is about, right?
right.
So, and for her to, that she was the one that brought up her suicidal thoughts from in
She
the
did.
beginning. Yeah.
Yes.
So why is it now that it's a problem to speak about this when you're actually working on a campaign that's relevant to this topic anyway? And
Well,
that's kind of half the reason why I would have thought she would have taken on this topic, because it would have been something close to her heart if she had allegedly tried to unalive herself or thought
right.
about it.
That's her.
So
That's
what, I
her.
mean, what do you think about that, Lady Tisha? Why would she kick off like that after the interview?
Well, my question to you, Victoria, do you think that she did not know that they were going to play that clip with her and Oprah? Was she caught off guard from that particular clip as well? Or did she know they were going to play it?
This is the thing, right? Can they just throw in kind of bombs as and when they want to in an interview? But if it's not live, then they could have asked for that to be edited
That's
out,
what I'm
and they
saying.
didn't.
Exactly. If she had such a big problem with it, then why even air it at all? Like if she was back there fussing with the producers or whatever. And if it was me and I was adamant about, you know, this information and didn't want it out, like if I didn't want the video played or whatever, cut it out, cut the whole video or just redo it. That's why I don't believe she didn't know. I don't believe that she was not aware of what was going to happen. And the question that she asked was legitimate based on the interview being showed. Well, you just saw the interview. Now you got to talk about it. You know, like, okay, Meghan,
I
you went and you talked about how you were suicidal. They showed that clip. And then right after that clip, here's the questions. Or here's, what do you think about, what happened to you back then? So I don't understand how she got caught off guard. I think that's a bunch of hoopla.
Well, I think also the Oprah clip might have been put in after the interview. I don't think it was put in during the
Really?
interview. Yes, but because they go back and refer to the show kind of proof of her saying that, like it's kind of adds weight to the interview a bit more, and they kind of make it a little bit more sassy, right? So, but even so. I didn't think she looked particularly shocked at
No,
that.
she
If you
didn't.
look back at the interview, we have analysed it on the last
She
live,
was
and
smiling.
anyone can find the interview. But she didn't. She
It
didn't.
was normal.
Yeah, she have with your face. If you're
Yeah.
really not prepared for a question, I think it really shows on your face
You
that
want me
you're
to
not
bring it up?
prepared. It's
Yeah.
like if you asked me some random question now that was just so offbeat and off track that you weren't prepared for it. You probably see me go, and
Right.
fluster or something like that.
Yeah, your face expression would change,
Yeah,
do something
yeah, yeah,
out of the norm, but she was straight faced and she was like it was a normal question. She didn't flinch or do anything to her face that made me think that that question was a problem. You want me to
yes,
bring it up?
yeah.
Okay.
Go for it.
Okay.
Go for it.
But yeah, no, Victoria, seriously. She because I talked about it on my station and I was like, wait a minute. She didn't look like she was caught off guard or anything was going on with her um, prior to the interview. Like, she didn't seem to me like she was upset about the question. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, she didn't seem like there was an issue. But what bothered me the most,
Oh, oh. LCG said, "Hi Victoria, thank you for an interesting gift in the post. I never knew such thing existed." It does, yes, these things do exist. I said a bit of a you frozen, Lady Letitia.
okay, I'm frozen. Okay.
No, you're not frozen now. You just look really, really still. You look like Harry in the interview,
Okay. Yeah,
unable to
like
move.
a Muppet. He looked weird, didn't he? He looked like they wasn't connected. I didn't get it. Like they didn't seem connected. Can
They
you see
didn't
that?
seem no, they didn't seem connected. And with Harry there sitting there, he was like he actually looked like he was stoned, to be honest. I did think for a minute, is he like, had a bit of a doobie before he went on. He just didn't move. He wasn't even looking at the interviewer. He was looking past the interviewer at the tapestry behind him.
Wow.
Yeah. Did you watch the whole interview?
Yeah, now can you see it? Can you see the
Did you
interview?
send it to me? Yeah.
No, I didn't see. Yeah, there it is. Okay.
Yeah.
I did watch the full interview
Yeah.
and I thought victimhood. I really was disgusted by this part because when she first did it the first time, I was like, wow, you know, you were suicidal, you just got married, you just oh, I totally flipped out and did something stupid.
What have you done?
Okay, I'm back. Okay. Um I just thought the whole thing was really bad for me. The first part was the fact that the first time she got on Oprah show and started talking about, how she was suicidal, and I just couldn't understand. And this is me, how a prince, how she just got married to a prince. Now she's pregnant, and all of a sudden you suicidal, and you haven't had any other suicidal thoughts since 6 years ago, and now you've overcome. And you're not even telling us how you overcome. Did you get counseling? Did you go through anything to get yourself fixed from wanting to kill you and your baby? I just and I know I'm really digging deep, because it's hard for people to say if someone is suicidal or not. Who am I to say that? But I just don't think she was at all. And I also think that the question that she asked her was legit. And Meghan didn't seem like she was off guard. I can show you that now if you pull it back up.
Well, she when she was speaking about her attempted suicide, she smiled and
Yes.
smirked. And I think that, like, it's a very vulnerable situation and very
There's nothing
personal.
smiley or nothing to the point where she should have been smiling, giggling, had a smirk, or any kind of thing on her face.
Yeah.
But how are you going to help these people that you don't even know or like or have never even heard of? And you won't even call your father or your and no, not even call. Let's not even talk about the call. The way you treated them, the way you treat people, it doesn't match her personality. Her personality is not a caring person. You can't care about someone and then get on national TV and start telling them that they made you suicidal, because she's trying to say that the royal family made her suicidal.
Yeah.
What was
Yeah.
the reason behind it? She said she was lonely. That was in the Oprah interview. But I don't
Yeah.
believe it. I think that she's playing victim again, and they are really looking bad out there right now,
Well,
especially
they're playing off of the parents' grief, aren't they? And they're using
yes,
parents' grief to gain publicity again, and it's just using people to get what they want, and to they've used these parents for a PR stunt once again. And I
right.
have also heard that they haven't donated 1 penny to the
Wow.
charity and this fund. Yeah, they haven't even donated any
And it's
money.
small too. Why isn't it this big organization? They've had plenty of time to get it off the ground.
Well, they haven't donated any money to the parents. They haven't donated any money to this organisation because they're not really bothered about this
I know
organisation. But they
it's
didn't
about
refer to the
business.
parents once. They didn't refer to the parents' pain in any of that interview. They just referred back to themselves, or she referred back to herself. He didn't even speak at this point. I think he just thinks, you know what, we are just doing a shit show of a job here. We're bouncing around from one place to another, doing stupid things. None of it's making sense, and not to even have the compassion and the care for these parents in that
At
moment.
all.
It shows really how unattached and how disengaged
Evil.
they are from reality completely, and they have no emotion or empathy for these parents
At
whatsoever.
all. Isn't that sinister? Isn't that
Yes, it
borderline
is.
evil?
It
Like,
is.
and the thing is, Victoria, is that not only is she using these people, but she's using these people so that other people can say, oh, Megan's being bullied. She's being bullied. Because remember when she went to New York and got on that panel and told everybody that she was bullied twice with Archie and Lilibet. And it was online bullying for her. So she started talking about herself like they did in this CBS interview. So I don't know why she was upset in the background. I thought, according to Paula, that she was upset because she didn't get enough airtime. So it wasn't the airtime, it was the question that was asked.
Well, from what I've watched, there is a few different sources stating that it's to do with that question about her attempted unaliving, and it's nothing to do with anything else. That was because it wasn't an expected question.
But it's all about the question. It's all about it.
Exactly. So Paul is saying it's for a different reason now, so that because she didn't get enough airtime. But I think she got plenty of airtime.
Yeah, me too.
She dominated the whole interview. There was no really, when Harry spoke, she stopped. She really made every part of her body react to him speaking.
Yeah,
Her movements, her her
yeah,
pursing of the lips, her
real
flapping of the
frustrated. Like,
hair,
shut up.
just stopping him from speaking with the hands. That, it's her body controls him,
Yes.
and he knows that there are certain triggers. And
Hmm.
so when she starts doing things like that, he stops speaking, and you can see then he shuts down, he goes back into himself, he becomes very introvert and
So, what
just
do you
stops
think about that,
talking.
Victoria? That she controls him on a bigger scale. She controls him. You think he's in a abusive relationship?
Oh,
Because
100%.
oh,
100%. I think when I first started out doing this, I wasn't convinced, because I think it takes a long time to gather your thoughts and gather your
yeah,
knowledge. And I don't like to just jump into something and go, right, that is my final opinion, before I'm really sure. Because I've burnt myself on many a time by thinking I'm 100% right, and then I haven't got all my facts. And so I think you have to be careful when
yes,
you form an opinion about somebody. And if it's a very strong opinion, I think you have to really know what you're talking
that is
about.
very true.
And after all this information, after seeing all the body language experts, after doing a lot of digging and research, I 100% believe she is fully domineering. She is controlling and steering this boat, steering this ship. And seeing him a shadow of his former self in that interview,
Hmm.
I am worried about Harry. And I
Yeah,
know he's not a likable figure for a lot of people. And a lot of people that don't like Meghan don't like Harry. And a lot of people aren't going to like me for that. And that's fine. This is my opinion. I think he is being controlled. I think he's
yes,
being manipulated. And I think I am actually concerned about him
yes.
now, after this interview.
That is a good observation, Victoria, being concerned, because it has gone into, okay, wait a minute. He does need a welfare check. She separated
Yes.
him on purpose so that she could have this kind of control over him. And now that
Yes.
she does, she wants to keep it, of course. Of course, she doesn't want his friends to come in there and convince him that he's with the wrong woman, or anyone. So that's why was keeping him isolated from his friends and his family. And she moved him from his safe haven, where his family could take care of him, the palace could make sure he was okay, into a world of unknown people, to where he has to rely on her for everything, because he's not strong enough.
No, no, he's definitely not strong enough. She's definitely chipped away at his ego. She's chipped away at his confidence. You can see he's broke. He had an idea of who he was and what he was about, and whether he's that intelligent or not, it really doesn't matter. He was Prince Harry. He had a role, he had a duty, he had a purpose at some point in his life. As much as he might not have liked it, he's now stepped out of it thinking the grass is greener.
Right.
And by the looks of things, the grass is not greener.
No,
He is in a
it's burnt.
drought.
Yeah,
He's in the desert right now.
yeah.
Like, if you look at the way he had a bit more of a character about him before, he had this I wouldn't say he was 100% happy. We've all got our demons, but I've never seen him like that in an interview. I've never seen him
Like a
like that.
shell of a person. Like
Yeah, a
a
shell of
shell
a
of a person.
person. Yes, yes, yes.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
she doesn't seem to change her character. If you look at how well orchestrated she is in an interview, and in every situation she's in where the camera is shining on her, she doesn't flicker out of this character that she has. I can see the
Pretend.
control there,
Yeah,
but
she's
she
controlled.
she really doesn't have. It's like she's almost robotic in her
It is
nature.
robotic. She's acting
Yeah.
24/7 a day, all the time. It's like an act. Turn it on. As soon as she steps into where there's a camera on her or limelight, you're right. It's 100%. But do you see that the whole CBS interview with the Oprah piece and her and Harry sitting there looking odd was very disconnected? It was the whole CBS interview was disconnected because it didn't match up with the victims. Because
No, it didn't.
no,
No,
doesn't
no.
match up with what's going on with the true victims. Because you were suicidal, as you say you were, but there's no, being suicidal and actually going through it like the parents did is totally different. You can't relate. It's not on the same field.
No, no. So we've all experienced death. I'm sure a lot of us have in the side chat, and who's watching. And you've been through it yourself, Lady
Oh,
Letitia.
yes.
I actually had a cousin that committed suicide. Um, and he took a load of pills, and then he regretted it. Called the ambulance, but by the
Oh,
time they came, it was too late.
oh.
But we didn't see it coming. We didn't know
You never
that
see it
that
coming.
no, you don't. And even really, I don't.
I'm
Even
sorry
though
about
it's a
that.
family no, I mean it's what it is. It's life,
Yeah,
isn't it? And we all go through tragedies. I'm not trying to make anyone get
right.
the violin out for me or anything like that. And we weren't particularly we weren't particularly that close, but it was part of a family. And there's been a lot more people in my family that have committed suicide that I didn't know about. It
Wow.
seems to be there's a mental health thing within
It's
my
the
mum's side that people
oh,
people have committed suicide, and it's quite scary actually,
it
and
is
it makes you wonder, what goes on in your mind to get to that point,
that
because I
point.
think we all have bad days and we all go
You
through
do.
dark days and have depression,
Hmm.
but how long does it go on for to get you to
Yes,
get to that point where you think there is no other alternative but to unalive yourself? So
exactly.
it does strike me as odd that they are going around these parents with very little knowledge about the impact it has on families, because yes, Harry's lost a loved one. He lost his mum and he's lost other family members, but it's not the same way as losing them through suicide.
Right. No,
And
it's different.
there has to be a relevance to them, and they have to really have done a lot of homework and research on
Yes.
it and taken a lot of time with these people beforehand. But it didn't look like they had a connection with these parents
Anyone.
whatsoever.
It seems like they were just sitting off
Mm,
to themselves and that it was just disconnected totally.
mm,
Like we were watching two different programs.
mm.
One with actual families that were going through the little bit that we did get. And then here you go, Harry and Meghan stuck right in the middle for no reason.
Yes,
And to
yes.
me, I don't understand, like, because normally people don't talk about suicide and don't talk about, don't come out and just have a full blown conversation about them killing themselves. And for her to just be so, what I'm trying to say, like, oh, I was suicidal and all of a sudden I'm not anymore after 6 years, like talking about she went through pain and trauma. And I'm like, what pain and trauma did you go through? She's word salad because she doesn't talk about the meat of things. Like,
Mm.
but she'll say stupid stuff like this. I'm just touching the surface of it. No, you're just trying to tell us that you may have some more dirt on the royal family that you want to come out and start chit-chatting about, but you really don't because you was only over there for 15 minutes.
She's not scraping she's scraping the barrel, you know. And I think it was an unveiled threat. I really do. I think it was almost like, boy, I've got a lot more to say, and it's all
Right.
coming out. It's coming
Say
out in my
it
book.
then.
Mm, mm,
Say it. You had the
yeah.
opportunity in this 9 minutes to go down your sad, your victimhood like you do and make it about you because it wasn't about them parents at all. It
No.
was never
No.
about the parents. It's
No.
about getting rid of the people that are talking about her now because her popularity is in the toilet. She can't get a brand off the ground because people are finding out who she really is. And listen, you have nobody to blame but yourself, Meghan. You have nobody to blame but yourself on how your popularity and what you have become because you had the opportunity of a lifetime to become something greater than yourself.
Well, it's a selfless act being a royal in a way, because
Yes.
you are working for the people, aren't you? And you are doing
Yes.
things that are very charity orientated, and it is about putting back into the community and doing royal
Not
duties that
accepting
maybe don't
awards.
serve your own purpose. Yeah.
Right. Their
So
purpose, their
yeah,
whole purpose.
but
That's
she
right,
could
Victoria.
have given a much given so much more to this country and to the world
Yes.
if she was able to balance out her own ego,
Mhm.
instead of being fully the full narc that she is. And I actually now believe that she's a sociopath.
Me too. Oh,
So,
yeah.
and I want to do a video
It
on
took you a
this.
moment, but
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
taken me a while, and I'm not going to just
Because
jump
she
into
hasn't
on the
changed.
bandwagon. Yeah, no, I'm just not going to do it without a full
Right.
idea of somebody.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, that was never
I
my.
like
I'll
that
never
about
do
you.
that before I'm fully confident. You
Yeah,
know,
I
because
love that about you because you're going to
because you're
give
not.
the
Yeah.
benefit of the doubt. You're giving her
Yes, I normally do
more
with
than
most people.
more than most people. You've
Mm.
given her the benefit of the doubt that just maybe this incident was a one-off, or maybe she's just ambitious and wants to be a superstar. But now you seeing it. You see that she is a sociopath. That
I've
no
seen what
feel.
Harry looked like in that interview, and I
Oh,
feel like
I
she
did
is
it for you.
and if you look at all the evidence that we have,
Yeah.
and the snippets here and there, that when the mask slips and she's angry and she looks hostile, and the body
Yeah.
language where she's, and the alpha in the relationship, because she takes him by the hand, she moves him through crowds.
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
it's literally how an alpha male would
Do
pick
a
up his
woman.
woman.
Hmm.
She might as well just throw
Like,
him over
follow my
her
lead.
shoulder and
Yeah,
just
yeah.
walk him
Get on.
out. You know, it's that kind of like dominance that she has over this guy, and she restricts him from speaking. She
She does.
restricts him from moving and having an opinion, because he
He's a
wasn't meant
robot.
to, yeah, he was not meant to speak in that moment. And you could see he wasn't meant to speak
I
in that
knew,
moment.
I knew, Victoria, when he got on that plane, that the control that I said, oh, she's got full control. I
Mm.
said, when they exited it and when he got on that plane talking about freedom, I said, oh, Harry is gone. He is in La La Land. He is not here with us.
He was love bombed. That's what narcissists do. They love bomb you in the beginning. And
Wow.
she gave him all the spill from the very get-go, and
Yeah.
she knew what to say to reel him in, and she knew the triggers to get him to where she wanted him to be. She probably worked out quickly that he's not the brightest tool in the
Right.
box, or the sharpest tool in the box. See, obviously I'm not the brightest either. It's the sharpest tool in the box. And then she said, you know, she goes, what can I use to get him and reel him in? And what she did play on was Diana. She did a lot of things that Diana, the mic sounds, is the mic, oh, sorry, well, is the mic bad?
Oh, I bought a
Is
mic
my
too,
hearing
guys.
okay? Can you hear me all right?
It's
Apparently
probably
the
my
mic's,
echo and it's
is that,
probably me.
oh, well, it's on. Hello?
Is it me, guys? I
No,
did
I
buy
think
me a
it's
mic,
me.
Victoria.
No, I think you're fine. I think is that better? Hello? Am I loud or too loud or too
It
quiet?
sounds great to me. I like it loud.
So I don't know what I was saying now. So going back, so she was,
Primary.
oh yes. So what she did in the beginning is she reeled him in with a lot of Diana. She imitated Diana, so she started to wear her perfume. She started to wear certain things. She'd do certain things, small, subtle things that would remind him of his mum.
Right.
And she also said she could speak to Diana, allegedly. So she pretended she was speaking through, as she was as a medium, and that his mum was with them in the room and she could contact his mother, which I find deplorable, really, because it's you're getting into someone's head through their grief and trauma.
Yes.
And it worked. It
Yes.
really did.
It did work because hook, line, and sinker. He was, and even like in the beginning at first, I thought, well, remember when they were on the balcony and he told her to turn around? I was like, oh, well, maybe he does got a little backbone, you know, but no, when he got on that plane, it was over for him. She put him in an environment where he had to rely on her for everything because he's born in this country in Montecito. He's used to having security and everything handed to him. And now that that's gone, he's probably trying to figure out, ooh,
Well, this is the thing.
I'll be like, I'm
If
going
they
home.
if they get a divorce,
Going home.
then it's an international divorce.
Ooh,
So that's going to cause problems with
the
the
baby.
child custody. I don't know how it works. I
I
really
don't
don't.
either.
I don't know what that would look like.
Well, I
I
know
don't.
that she would rip Harry from shreds to shreds. She was going to break him down. She's going to have video, audio, everything to point against him so that he will not have access to those kids. It will
This
be
is
hell
very
on
similar
earth.
to what Angelina Jolie did with Brad Pitt,
Yeah,
right?
worse than that.
So yeah, yeah. So they'll
She
document
did do that,
things.
didn't
They
she?
video. Yeah, well, Brad Pitt likes a bit of weeds as well, doesn't he? I think. And
He
it's
did
not.
try to say he was a bad dad and all that.
Yeah, he did. She did. Yeah, yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
like
There
that
was
about
a
her.
few different things that were said about Brad Pitt, and allegedly he did certain things that were a bit unsavory.
Right.
But that is the kids actually don't really have some of the older kids don't have a relationship with him apparently.
They
That's what
don't.
I've heard.
Yeah, they don't.
But I think she if she's as conniving and as cunning as what we think she is,
Mhm.
she would have started to build up a case. She would have
Against
started to
him.
take pictures,
Mhm.
film him
Oh, yeah.
a bit like Amber Turd did with Johnny
Yeah.
Depp.
Well, just like
And
Meghan did to the royal family, started taking notes and started building a case against them for the Oprah show. She's going to do the same thing when she gets ready to chop him off at the divorce lawyers. And
yes,
poor Harry, what is he going to do? Because she's going to get those kids.
well, she'll make
It
it goddamn
hell.
hard for him, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
And the problem is he's stuck between a rock and a hard place now because He's burnt his bridges at the other end of the other end of the pond. He can't go back to can't really go back to his family now
He
after
can.
everything
He's
that's
gonna be
happened.
ostracized. He's gonna be like Andrew
Yeah,
somewhere, looking for a
yep.
little bungalow.
Be back at Frogmore.
Okay.
Nobody wants to live at Frogmore, so I'm sure he'll
Nobody
be
wants to
allowed back
live
there.
there. I wouldn't.
Listen, I'll take it all day long. If you
Would
want to give it
you?
to me, yeah, I'll take a place in the
Oh,
palace somewhere. I don't
no,
mind.
you probably get in there and bless it,
Oh, bless it
get all
be.
those Meghan spirits out of there. You got to get that
Yeah,
out.
I'll get my sage out and start
Yes.
wafting that around. Put some cinnamon and rosemary out the front. Do some witchcraft.
Get some garlic
Uh,
too.
yeah, some garlic. But yeah, I think that
Keep her out.
she's probably gonna wait until after this inheritance come through. I think he's set to
That's what someone
earn
said.
60, well, to gain 60 million. I've got a little
60
article on it.
million.
Just yes,
Oh, they
I
ain't going
think
broke
so.
no time soon.
This is the report I have. It could differ in amounts because not everything is correct that we read and listen to. But it's
Okay.
got an estimated current net worth of about 60 million coming his way. Prince Harry's upcoming inheritance would be a welcome addition to his payout on his 40th birthday later this year. So he's 40 in September. I think it's the 15th of September. He's going to be at 40, yeah, it's on the 15th. In a striking contrast to his elder brother, the Duke of Sussex will inherit millions on his milestone birthday. Meanwhile, Prince William receives a ceremonial bell concert at Westminster Abbey when he turned 40. So he's not going to have anything going on for him. Thanks to his late great-grandmother's arrangements, Prince Harry will rake in about 8.5 million from that. The late Queen Mother established a £90 million trust fund for her family. It's saying this in dollars here, so this could be a little bit different in amounts. They've got dollar signs next to this, so it's a bit less than that.
Does he have access to his money his mother left him?
So, well, 2 seconds. Let's just carry on with this. 2 seconds. We'll come back to that. Despite
Okay.
having millions, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex have the lowest net worth in the entire royal family. Following their exit, the royals, a couple settled in Montecito. Blah de blah de blah. They've lost money. And if we keep going down, yeah. So he's set to receive quite a chunky amount of money, but there is an argument here that should he even receive that now, after him no longer being part of the royal family,
Oh,
is because they both inherit money, but William is no longer going to. He doesn't have to pay tax because obviously he's the prince, but now Harry does. Harry's going to have to pay tax on this inheritance. It's going to be quite
oh.
a hefty amount as well.
So why
And
does he have to pay taxes and the other one don't?
probably because he left the royals, I'm guessing.
Okay.
So this is my guess that he's going to have to pay, or it could be that he's the spare. But did she leave money for? So you did ask me a question, didn't you?
Well, okay. So Victoria, he's yeah, his mother left him $30 million, I thought. And does he have access to it? Oh, he does, but he has to pay a tax.
Yes. So Diana, Princess of Wales, left her two sons the bulk of her estate, which amounted to $21 million in 1998,
Oh,
and then
wow.
it was divided equally between them and fully accessed when they turned 30. So it was
Um,
about close to $10 million each. I don't know what that is in pounds, because I know it
yeah.
used to be half the value, but I'm not up on the dollar at the moment, the currency. It's not that that much difference as it used to be
Mm.
back in the day. But Princess Anne has seized full control of Prince Harry's trust funds.
Oh,
And this is how the rich get around paying taxes and things. Trust funds is a
oh,
great way to set up your kids if you want to
the
do a
trust.
trust fund.
Oh,
And I'll send you
how
some
old
other
will it?
weird and wonderful ways of saving money, Lady Letitia.
Okay, send me that list.
Mm.
How old will Harry be? Is why he's getting? Is he 35 or 40?
Now Harry's 39 at the moment, so he's 40 this
He's
year. So
forty.
that's when he inherits.
I'm like, they are
Yeah.
too old for this stuff. I mean, at a certain age, you think that people don't do certain things, but some people don't grow up.
I don't think anyone really grows up, to be honest. I just think I feel the same age as I did when I was 18. I think I'm just a little bit more
Wiser.
less crazy, a bit wiser, had lived a life experience, and you do tend to calm down and you try to be as adult as possible. But I think I'm completely bonkers, to be honest with
Me
you.
too.
I
Me
don't
too.
think I've got.
I should never.
I'm
You're
not a
right.
very serious person in any way, shape, or form half the time. So I don't know. I do think these feuds, though, always seem to happen later on in life between siblings. I think there's a
Mm,
build up of you know what I mean.
animosity? Yes.
Yes, that's the word. There's a build up of that, and it gets to the point where they're just gonna butt heads, and that rivalry comes out, that deep seated hate and resentment
Do
comes
you think they will
slipping
ever
through.
be like that resentment? Well, do you think that, like, because I don't think so. I think that there will always be this tension between him and his brother from now on. But do you ever see them, just being on high and by terms?
Do you know what? I think if he divorces Meghan, and I think that's on the cards now, I think after this interview, I think we are going to see this play out. And what I
Wow.
do worry for him is that he's going to expose his drug taking. And I think it's not fair to expose someone when they're vulnerable. He's obviously got issues. And
Yes.
if he has got an addiction, I think that should be managed privately. If she's going to start exposing him and
Yeah.
start putting out pictures of him on the internet or in a court environment of him smoking dope, being
Yeah.
collapsed on the sofa, similar to that of what Amber Heard did with Johnny Depp, trying to get him in uncompromising, unsavory photos, making him look like a delinquent, making him look like he's incapable of managing his own life.
Right.
I think we've all got our vices. I don't think it's fair to tear somebody down when they have an addiction. I think it should be managed appropriately. If he has got a problem, she shouldn't use it against him. That's what I'm saying. I
Right.
think if she does go down that route, I was going to say route then. I'm getting Americanized.
Yeah, route.
If she does go down that route, then she's going to look like another Amber Turd, and she will have to
Does
emigrate, and she
already.
will have to go back to her roots and go back to Nigeria. She's not going to be allowed anywhere because this is unbelievable. If she's going
He's
to try
not
and
trying to get his
break,
money.
yeah, I think that's inevitable. And is he silly enough not to work this out? I think maybe he does know what she's up to. Maybe he is feeling like he can't get out of this situation
Right.
because he's already left the royals.
Right.
So
Right.
where can he go now? He's got to put up with this situation. And that
Exactly.
rapid blinking in the interview that he was doing,
Ooh.
every time she was speaking like this,
He
suicide, every
was
time she spoke,
nervous. I'm
the eyes were going. And
gonna have to
that's,
go back and watch that.
yes. Oh, we slow-moed it yesterday in the
Wow.
live. Oh, Paula did it for me. But it was incredible to
Like
see
he was,
his body recoiling at her speaking about this, her tragic life and her victim
Almost
mentality.
like knowing that
He's
she's lying.
yeah,
And
he
he's sitting
knows. Yeah,
there
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh my God, my wife
yeah,
is lying, you know.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm going back to watch that because I want to see it on his face. I want to see if he is actually, like he's scared of her, literally, like afraid of this woman. She's probably bullying him, blaming him. I know it. I know she's blaming him for everything. It's his fault. It's his fault that she was over there and married him and she was suicidal. And it's his fault. So he felt like he had to bring her to America because I brought her into my world. And so I feel like, he said it. He said he feels like it's his fault that Meghan, had to go through what she went through, which is nothing. She didn't go through anything.
No, no. Well, I think he felt such a way about her being, demonized in the press, and he felt very protective of her, which you would, I suppose, if anyone you're in love with and,
Right.
you've brought them into a situation and it suddenly turns on them, you do feel a sense of guilt and protection, and you want to make sure that your wife is, safe and, not miserable, which is great. And they went off and decided that they were going to step out of the limelight, by the way. That was
Right.
their intention, not to be seen anymore. No,
Right. No
no more.
flashy.
No, living like a nice country life with the
Yeah.
chickens.
Like
Um,
not seeing her every other day.
yeah, just, living a simpler life, which I was thinking, well, good for you guys. Go and have your simple
Yeah.
life and do what you want to do.
Yeah, I didn't
Um,
believe that.
this isn't a simpler life.
I
This is
said,
a
she's
messy
coming over
life.
here. This is the clue that got me to believe that she wasn't going to live a simple life, is because she invited no one to her wedding, only the celebrities that she was going to be trying to hook up with once she got over here. Like, I want to be connected to you. That's why she was telling Oprah, I can't do the interview right now. Wait until I leave the family and then I'll tell you. That's what she
Mm,
basically was saying. She
mm.
was planning this all along, but it just felt like she was setting herself up to be positioned in Hollywood with these A-listers that she invited to her wedding.
Yes, yes. I don't believe for us. I think she really laid it on thick. I think if she did,
She
and
did.
listen, I would never like to
Thick.
say somebody's lying about talking about suicide, because I'd still like to believe that if you are in that mind space, you're not going to lie about it. That was a
You would hope.
crazy thing to do. And if she has lied about it, then that's her own karma train coming to get her, because
Mhm.
that's ridiculous and a terrible thing to lie
Very
about
sad.
and to gain attention for. But if she felt so passionately about it, or she wanted to keep it to herself, then why speak about it on Oprah?
Right.
Because if you're that bothered about it in the next interview, and you're so
Right.
mad at the producers that this was brought up, and then why talk about it in the beginning?
Why talk about it? If, like you said, she put it on thick. It was thick. That Oprah Winfrey interview was thick. She went in about the racism, suicide, Catherine, her father, the royals. I mean, she left nothing unturned, and it was thick. And I'm like you. It's hard for me to say that I don't believe her, but I don't. I don't believe her, because how do you go from that to this and everything is just fine now?
It does feel like it was calculated.
Yes.
It feels like it was a stunt for sympathy and to
Publicity.
gain
Yeah.
acceptance from everybody, because she knew she was losing everybody.
I love how you talk.
And oh, thank you. Some people just don't like, they can't, but I'm just waffle on. Some
No,
people are just
it's
like, well,
so, oh my
Victoria, you just
God.
go on and on and on. But it's just, I feel as if she laid on the victimhood because that's what people do to gain trust, to sit and get to people to like them. And that was the easiest thing to do at that time, because she was losing the public opinions. She was losing their support. She wasn't getting the amount of admiration that she desired. So to kick it up a notch, she decided that she'd talk about unaliving herself, which, you know, is dreadful if she did go through it. But
Right.
like you say, after seeing this interview on CBS, I don't feel, with Harry's body language, it gave it away that she was
Yes,
lying,
that she
because
was
he was
lying.
uncomfortable with her speaking about that situation. He,
Lying.
yeah, his the eyes going was a clear, sure sign that he was uncomfortable with that conversation. And maybe this is something she just doesn't stop, you know, referring back to and throws into Harry's face every time they argue.
Right.
I might change my life for you,
Yeah,
you
I
know, I
get on
gave
you.
up my life for
Yeah.
you. But
Yeah.
it's the other way round. He gave up his life for her. She didn't have a life.
You didn't have
She's got a better life than she had before.
ever, as if she had something to go to, like she had something over here, like she had all this going for herself, and she gave up all of this. When she said this on Oprah, I was committed to this. I wrote the Queen letters. I told her what I wanted to do, and I gave up everything. I gave up my life. I gave up my career. I said, you didn't give up nothing.
She
He gave
didn't
up
have a
his
career.
priesthood, idiot.
She didn't have, I mean, she had a mediocre acting role. Well done. You was
Right.
on Suits, but I never heard of Suits before this. I never knew about Suits. I don't think she's a particularly good actress. I think she's acting
No.
when
Oh
she's
yeah.
into being interviewed. I don't think that's
Everywhere.
actually herself. And
24/7.
an actress, and it's very similar to that of Amber Turd. She acted and performed throughout her trial,
Oh
and
yeah.
so does Meghan. In any interview, in any situation, it's cameras on, rolling, let's start
Yeah.
acting, let's
Let's
put on a
start
show for these people, and let's give a version of myself that I want other people to see. But the blinkers fall off and the facade and the mask falls down when other people interject or cut her off in her
right.
stride. So when she was speaking, she was in her stride at that time, having this, you know, relaying her part. He cut her off, and you could see she was like, no, bitch, you've
Oh
just
yeah.
interjected me. You
Yeah.
don't cut me off.
No,
And she's done
I'm
that.
the star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's done that with Doria.
Oh
Whenever
yeah. All
Doria,
that with
she
Gloria.
doesn't like Doria interrupting her own mother. You can see she does the hair thing. She does the
Yeah.
pursing of the lips. It's all to do with control. She wants to
So
control everybody around her.
everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone. Girl,
Yeah.
you are good. You don't need me on here doing nothing. You got this. I love
Do
it.
you
I can
know,
listen to you
it's
all
it
day.
you know, I love you. You're very kind. Thank you. Thank you. Once I get going, I get going. But sometimes it's like I get these blocks in my head. I think I've been on a lot of medication this last few months. I think I've just lost a few brain cells. They will come back at some
Oh,
point, hopefully. But I get this
you're
like
doing
freeze
good.
where I can't get my words don't match my head. And I never used to have that before. So I think it's to do with all the antibiotics that I was on. But fingers crossed they're coming out of my system, and I'm going to get back to some kind of normal mental health and
That's good.
physical health at some point. What a great conversation, though, Lady Letitia. I really appreciate you joining me.
Oh,
I think there's a lot more to come. We've got the whole Colombian tour coming up again. I just think how funny
how
going to
funny.
going to Colombia. Yeah, what can you get in Colombia
Yeah.
more than anything? What's the one thing you can buy in Colombia? Cheap, and it's
Water.
pure.
water.
I mean, what a great place to go. He'll be there before she's there.
Yeah.
He's gonna get in the boat and go.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
just
I heard
think,
she wanted to go by herself.
well, it's all to do with this campaign as well. So I really do hope that they listen to what other people are thinking and read the room. Understand, if you're going to be doing this, if you're going to be actively campaigning for people, you need to be involved in their lives. You need to get their story. You need to you need to have some passion for it and some empathy and some care.
Yes.
And if there isn't any compassion, it's going to show. It's going to show that they're not interested when they go around doing these talks. It's almost like they're doing it, but they're not really there. He wasn't there. He wasn't interested. He checked out. But I think he's checked out more so because of he's got marital problems. And I think it's a deep-rooted issue because that... He didn't even like her. He didn't want her to touch. He didn't want her to touch him. That's, I think, when she put the hand on the leg.
Yeah. I
think he's just thinking enough is enough.
He kept his hands in the middle. He didn't touch her hand, caress her.
No.
And even when the interviewer said, I can see how this is touchy to you, this subject, because you're putting your hand on your husband. She didn't say that, but she implied it. And he didn't comfort her. He didn't to rub her hand and see like, oh, she's okay. He kept his hand in the middle.
Thing. This is what I find fascinating. If I was you're my friend, Lazy Letitia, right? So if you were speaking about something, like, obviously I can't touch you because you're all the way in Texas. But if I could, and you were speaking about something really vulnerable and really sensitive, I'd be touching you. I'm a very touchy-feely person anyway, but I would be trying to comfort you as much as humanly possible. And if my partner or, my I don't know, anyone that was close to me, and I was speaking about something sensitive and they were just stone cold rigid, I would be pissed off. I'd almost be thinking, what the fuck is going on here?
Like, because touching me and caressing me, making me feel like I'm okay.
Exactly. And she didn't even really seem that bothered that he wasn't touching her anyway. She seemed really quite disassociated with the whole thing. She was just on one train. I'm going to just do my show and don't interrupt my show. Got my blinkers on. But narcissists do a lot of unaliving threats. That's completely right there, Isabella. They do, and it's a textbook manipulation tactic. God, I love you, Isabella. You always come up with some great things in this side chat. And do you know what? This side chat's been popping off tonight. I can't keep up with the comments, but I would have put more of your comments up, guys, but I just haven't got I can't do both. I can't speak and do both.
Hard, isn't
it? And once this medication gets out of my system, I should be like an octopus back in action. But I just find it absolutely fascinating, and we're definitely going to cover Big Mike's put, I believe Harry is gay or bi. I mean, that's a whole different conversation. I haven't even thought about that. But I think we're going to cover the Colombian tour, because this is going to be outstanding content. God knows what's going to happen there. They're just literally digging themselves further and further into the ground. They might as well just get a shovel, do their grave, and be gone. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. And I'm looking forward to it. So we should do. I want to do a video on Meghan being a sociopath. So if you want to join me for that, I'll do it within the week. I'm not sure when, but I will put it up on the live. But yes, I've got a whole segment for that. I've done a lot of research on sociopaths in my lifetime, and she's ticking all the boxes. So let's do this.
Ooh, that's gonna be good.
Let me just pop up this lovely disclaimer before we booger off because yeah, all allegedly, blah de
For
blah de blah.
you, Victoria.
Thank you guys for being so lovely in the side chat. I love you all. Thank you for joining us. Please like, subscribe, and comment in the underneath the video and let me know what you think and how you think of the video, and anything you want us to cover as well. Let us know. Lots of love. Night night. Bye, Lady
Bye, guys.
Letitia. Thanks for
Thank
joining
you.
us.
Love
Bye
you,
bye bye
guys.
bye 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 bye
Victoria.
bye babes. Bye.